Hi guys, it is Belle here and it is day 5 of December. Don't forget to use the hashtag. And this is created by the very talented Louisa Heinzel and Barbara over at 49 Dragonflies. Their links will be down below. And as always, I'm going to be using some bits that were sent to me by the super lovely Tiff over at Amethyst Raven. Again, check her links down below and check out our swap video if you haven't already. Let's get on to today's make. So it is journaling card and tiny letters. I feel like that's a nice one. I always overthink the ones like that because I start thinking, well, it's quite simple. So you guys will be like, oh, that's just a simple make. But I think that's what we're going for today. That's what my brain wants. Now, I've already made some. So let me show you. I already made some. And I just did this to save a little bit of time. But we're still going to make 3 on camera and I'm going to decorate some. So I've actually got, this is just vintage book page. All of these ones are made from folded over vintage book page or just glue book page. And then I've also cut up some of the packaging of the delicious lemon Scottish shortbread that Tiff sent me as one of my snacks. I'm going to have a snack a week, I think. And then whatever's left, we're just going to eat in the last week. So next week, you'll see a new snack. But I wanted to use these. Now, all of these are quite small. The book pages are between 4 inches across and 5 high. And these are 3.5 by just over 5.5. Because I like to change up journaling cards and have larger ones and smaller ones. I've also pulled out my box of like paper scraps. Lots of these are vintage as well. I tend to keep those separate from my other ones. And little scraps. And what I think I'm gonna do, first of all, I'm gonna turn this over. I want to actually glue on this side because this is quite, especially this one, is quite bright. So I think it would actually show through the paper that we would put on the back, the tea-dyed paper. I'm also, because this is glossy, I'm also just going to come on and sand this a little bit so that hopefully, I'm sorry if that's shaking the camera, so that hopefully this will help the glue adhere to it a lot better. Just sanding this down, taking some of the gloss off. Yeah, just like so. So I might fast forward the pieces where I'm just doing the collaging. But you'll still see it. I mean, it's just basic collaging. So it's one of my favourite things to do. I love to collage. I find it very relaxing. And also this is a good way to think of, okay, what direction do I want the pieces to be in? Now the prompt, tiny letters, or is mainly, these are all mainly book pages. Now I know a lot of you will be like, Belle, why are you covering book page in book page? Or maybe you're not, because obviously most of you are also journalers. And it's just because it looks nicer and also it helps make the journal cards sturdier. So, you know, we're going to do that and we're going to put some other stuff on top. But it does seem to defeat the purpose of putting book page on top of book page. But I'm not going to overthink that. And also it can go in any direction. So I tend to try not to even overthink where I'm putting things. I don't care if it's the wrong way up. I don't care if it's, well, I do care if it's back to front, but I have been known to put pieces sort of all over the place. Anyway, I don't mind about that. Most of this is going to get covered. And again, I know some of you, because I know you comment on it sometimes, but I do a lot of decoration in the background, and then I cover it up. But as I always say, it's the actual process of creating the background that helps me feel inspired. So that is what I'm doing. So I'm just going to continue doing this, and then we'll get on to the next bits. Okay, so they are basically done. What I will say is I don't like even leaving some little scraps sometimes. So if it's a scrap, because it's vintage, if there is a scrap, I like to use it up, because it's just going to go in our bin and we don't need that. We can add it to the pieces. So I'm going to clear this all up. Okay, so the next thing I want to add is I've got some little labels here, and I want to add the ones that are in brown. I'm not even looking at what they say, because in reality they are all going to be in the background. So where are they? Here's another one. These are some Tracy Fox labels. I will leave them linked down below in case you're interested, but any labels will work. So I'm going to add some of these. First thing I'm going to do is trim all of these down. Okay, so they are now basically trimmed, and I am just going to glue on some of these labels randomly. And again, I'm not inking because I know that probably a lot of these labels are going to be covered up. But again, it just helps me creatively to think of the, to get inspired by the background, which is, you know, what we always want, to be inspired. I did say that I was struggling a little bit with this year's challenge in my last video, and I had quite a few of you comment that you also don't like mass making and that you struggle with it. So that was good, because I thought it was just me and my strange brain. And I've changed up how I'm approaching this challenge now. I mean, this you could class as a mass make, because I am going to be making, or I have already made quite a few of them. And there'll be a few videos like that when I know they're going to be makes that I know I will use constantly. Otherwise, I'm just going to have fun creating. So it'll be a bit of a mix up, and I just want to enjoy it, because I was really getting two in my head, which is not the point of this challenge. And if anyone else was telling me that, I would tell them, just enjoy it, just relax and enjoy it, and do what comes naturally to you. So I'm going to take my own advice and do that. Okay, so you can see we've got some labels. What I also wanted to pull in, I have some scraps that, again, they have small lettering on. This is some sewing pattern paper. So I just want to bring these in places as well. Again, it's using up my scraps, and it's adding a little bit of interest into the backgrounds, which is, you know, what we want on our backgrounds, don't we? So I'm going to do that. Like so. Might need to sand that down. I've got this little one. This will work perfectly here. I think this is some like parchment paper that I got somewhere. I don't know. It had all like restaurant-y kind of things on it. It obviously wasn't wrapped around food, otherwise, well, I suppose you can always wash parchment paper. I don't know, I've never done that, but I suppose you could if you want to. I am going to bring in my bone folder and just really press that down, because I feel like there's some glue missing in places. And when we come to do the next bit, I need that glued down. And then I have some Tim Holtz paper that does have very tiny letters on it. I was gifted this piece, and this is all I have left of it, but I love it. Okay, this is this way. Do you know what? Let's kind of rip them and do two. So again, it's building up the background, and you could just leave it at that with this prompt. You could make some journaling cards and leave it at that. Have the base for when you need to quickly make a journal card, which I'm gonna add this one over here. Don't know, it was calling to me there, calling to me. Obviously you can use Mod Podge, that would probably be better with that. Now there's nothing there, so I am going to pull in, even pull in a bit of this butterfly. Oh, using up my pieces, using up my pieces. So yes, we're building up layers. We've got loads of tiny lettering on there. Just, I mean, do you know the simplest way that you could do this? Make a masterboard, guys. Make a masterboard and then cut it into journal cards. That is literally the simplest way you could do this. But I wanted to do it this way. But yeah, a masterboard would be fun. Oh, I love that on there. That's really good. Okay, so the next bit I'm going to do is, I need to move these because I'm going to need to pull these in soon, is I'm going to put some, sorry, I'm just trying to find my paintbrush. Okay, I found a very old paintbrush that was usually, by the looks of it, for Mod Podge. But we're going to pull in some white gesso, and then I'm literally going to push all that detail into the background. You can build it up in some areas so that it's, what's the word? Less visible. And then you can have other areas thinner. Obviously, I could come on and rub some of this off if I truly wanted to. And this is why I was saying there really is no need to worry about what the labels are saying or anything like that, because most of it is just going to be background noise, background detail with some brush on. So we're just going to do this. Okay, so they are basically dried. And now the next bit, now I have already backed these ones, but the next bit I want to do is I want to do a little bit of stenciling. I may have to zoom you out for this. Hopefully that will work. Is I want to do a little bit of stenciling on here with some inks. Now, where are the stencils I picked? Okay. I thought I had my favourite one. I might have to grab my favourite one, because it's a favourite for a reason. Now, this was just from Hobbycraft. It's AS420 if you guys are here in the UK. And what I am going to do is I'm just going to kind of put it across all of them slightly. And I am going to use, I think, vintage, is it vintage photo I've got? No, it's walnut stain. I think I'm going to use that. It's also why I haven't cleaned my table, because I also need, actually, whilst I'm at it, a couple of sheets of paper, because we're going to need those in a minute. And I'm just going to spray through here to get a little bit of background on there. Perfect. Now we're going to lift that up carefully. It's so good. And then, guys, never ever waste this. It's really hard to show you, but I'm going to put this upside down and put it on some paper upside down and then rub that. Sorry, I would show you, but I don't have the space on my table and I don't want to move these, because then you get something like that. And I love it. I love it, love it, love it. So I'm just going to do that again because there was some more on there. And I'm going to leave that to one side because that can dry. And then what am I going to come on with? This is one of my favourite ones. It's just a little dot one. It's the Tim Holtz one. THS002. No idea what it's called. I just love this one. It's the little dotty one. And again, I'm just going to come on with some walnut stain. The reason I'm doing that and not another colour, I could come on with something like Picket Fence or something, but the reason I'm doing that is because I want the backgrounds to be quite neutral, so that I can build them up if I need to. I am going to put this on some paper too. Let's just put it on this one. Sorry, this is almost as much fun for me as actually doing, look at that, and there's still so much on here, as doing this. I sometimes like the negative of a piece more than I like the actual piece. I'm just wondering, because we don't have anything up here, so I'm wondering, I've got this one, and I may just come on with this and see what this looks like. So this is another Hobbycraft one, guys, if you're here in the UK. I always tend to hold my stencil down a little bit before lifting, so that I know I'm not just lifting it straight up. Oh, I like that. I actually like this. So I'm going to just put that on there. That just looked like a splotch, that one. I think because the lines and the writing on here are so fine that it just looked like a splotch. Okay. Yeah. All right. So what I'm going to do now is I am going to dry these. And this is missing some. Sorry, I just looked at it and thought, nope, nope, nope. This is missing a little bit more. So we're going to bring on this and spray again. Oh no, the lid's gone. That's all right, I can pick that up. Yeah, that's better. Okay, I'm going to dry this and clean all of this up. Okay, so let me show you what those look like. I love them. Now, some of them have more detail on than others. And I did use an oxide ink, so that does mean that it's changed colour as well. This one might have too much on, I suppose, for most people, but that really doesn't look straight and it's bothering me. Do you know what? I'm going to be cutting it soon anyway. And then we have some like this. Now again, you can barely see the labels and things, but they're there. They're in the background. So now what I need to do is do some backing. And as you will see, I like to do scrap backing too. We all have so many papers. And then what, we just throw the scraps away? Oh, no, 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 no. So I have little bags just full of scrap papers and coloured papers and interesting bits. And I'm going to pull some out. And this is only one. This is only one of my bags. Because I know there's some of you out there who go, oh my gosh, I've got so many scraps. Yes, so do I. This is just one of my small bags that I keep close at hand to grab for moments like this. And then when that one's done, I will then be able to pull out my other one and make a start on that. So I am going to do this. I mean, you don't need to have me talk you through it because you would have seen it. So I'll speed this bit up. Okay, so they are done. I love using pieces like this that are different, or like this is some vintage music paper, and it's nice to just put it over another piece that's darker to make it look a bit interesting. And you can see I used some of that. Now, was that from my scrap bag? No, but I just wanted to show you that when you do that, I'm sure most of you know, but when you do that, when you sort of put your negative stencil print on another piece of paper, it adds a beautiful background. I mean, I will sometimes make journal cards which just a plain back, but I much prefer doing this. So guys, that is the basis of the journal card with the little letters. But I'm going to be honest with you, I really want to decorate now, so that's what we are going to do. So I'm going to pick one, I might actually pick this one, and I'm going to go round it in, I think, some of the ground espresso, and we are going to get decorating some of these because I want some actually decorated. That might need to be trimmed a little bit. And also I want to show you how they can then be used. Again, I'm sure most of you know, but there may be new people out there. And also I just want to decorate. It's something I enjoy. So let me grab some pieces. Now, I won't know where everything's from, guys. I know this is from a Tracy Fox again. I just wanted to have a look at what was in my stash. I'm using my sandpaper on here. I mean, we don't want that perfect edge, do we? I know I've ripped it. I don't mind that either. It's going to be glued. I love how creepy she is. I'm going to just tear the bottom a little bit. Love it. And then I'm actually going to bring in some black soot on this one. And I think a little bit of lace on the side would look nice. Let's actually get into that rip and tear. We really don't, I don't like things perfect. If you're new here, hello and welcome. I know I've got some new subscribers. I hope you're enjoying these videos, and stick around to check out my other ones. This is a Tim Holtz piece. Yeah, I just hope you're enjoying them, and thank you so much for subscribing. I really do appreciate it. But if you are new here, I don't like anything looking too perfect. So I want to sand things, I want to rip things, I want to scrunch things up. And I also just wanted to say how much I'm enjoying Tiff's videos. Tiff, if you're watching, I know you probably are. But like many of us, Tiff really struggles with tearing pieces up, especially if they're vintage pieces. And she has been doing so well in her videos with just tearing and using pieces up, and I'm so happy to see that. I think so many of us are exactly like that. I know I definitely was when I first started junk journaling. I really did struggle to rip and tear, especially vintage pieces. When we're first collecting our pieces, we don't want to rip and tear them, do we? Because like that's we've gone and found these pieces and we want to keep them. Beautiful. But I found, sorry, I was looking for my gilding paste. I must have moved it. I found that I was buying more stuff and not using it, which, what is the point? That's what we have to say. What is the point of that? What is the point of buying stuff and not using it? So I got braver and started actually doing that. And I'm so pleased to see that Tiff has been feeling confident enough to start doing that. I think she said that she felt like she was channeling me through my pieces, which made me chuckle. Oh, I love that. Did make me chuckle, actually. And I completely kind of get what she was saying. Okay, now here's what I want to do with this piece. I want to stitch around the edge first, then I'm going to come on and glue some pieces down and add more stitching. Okay, so I did a wobbly straight stitch. This does two things if you have a sewing machine or want to stitch. It, one, looks decorative, but two, it makes sure it's holding that together. Now, that's not such a problem with this because it was onto a straight, a flat piece of card. But with other pieces, I really don't want to use all this. With other pieces, like the book pages, it just makes sure that if you have not got glue in every corner, it holds them down. Obviously, I know not everyone has access to a sewing machine. So, you know, use what you have. And if you don't sew your journal cards like that, then just make sure you glue the edges down super well. Got some black lace too because just felt like we needed it. Oh, the saga of the Christmas tree continues, guys. If you're new here, you won't know what this is. But last year, one of my adorable little cats, oh gosh, just stay still, decided it was her year to really start messing about with the Christmas tree. We've never had a cat like it before who she just would not leave it alone no matter what we tried. I remember asking you guys for some advice, and so many of you gave me great advice. But basically, she's got a thing about the Christmas tree. It doesn't matter what else I do. It must be the smell of it or something. I don't know. But obviously, I don't have a real Christmas tree anymore because that's actually not good for cats. It can be poisonous for them. Although I love a real Christmas tree. So it is a fake one. And again, that's not good for her either. Because, in fact, maybe she would be less likely to chew a real Christmas tree. Because she just wants to chew it all the time. We did last year end up finding this amazing spray that we use that is non-toxic and dries super quick. And she does seem to leave the tree alone a bit more. But I think she gets frustrated now that she can't chew the tree. Because instead she just sits at it, knocking the Christmas baubles off. Oh dear me. Thankfully I've put my more expensive ones higher up and we've just left ones that are not as, you know, they're not as breakable at the bottom. But she was just doing it just then because my tree is right here. Because if you're new here, hello again, but I craft in my living room. That's where my craft table is. So my tree is right there. And she just sits there watching me whilst I'm crafting, just hitting the tree. And that's also her bell you can hear if you're new here and don't know. Now these flowers, they were cut from a die, Tim Holtz die. It's one of my favourites. I use it all the time. I realised I hadn't pulled out any of my nature or my flowers. But I cut them out of this beautiful black, like, it's kind of got a glitter sparkle to it, card that Tiff sent in the pack. And I love it. So, yeah, I'm cutting that out. I cut the flowers out of that. And that has been fun. I want that on there. I think I do. Need to ink it just a little bit there. It's too perfect. Again, I don't like perfect here. Now, I don't know if I want more. I feel like there's more that I could add. But I don't know right now if... You know what, let's glue that down. So, yes. The saga continues, And loads of you said, oh, get her own catnip tree. And guys, it just wouldn't work. We've got catnip stuff all over for her, including little things. But there's something about an actual tree that it must be something to do with what they're made from. So I deliberately got her what I thought was the safer tree. Even though I've never had any issues with any other cats on the Christmas tree. But I do know that she loves to chew things. So I deliberately might have to stitch that. I don't think it likes the card. I deliberately got her own like a faux tree so that she didn't have to. So I didn't have to worry. And yeah, no, she's decided to make me worry. Yeah, that does not want to stick to that card. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go do some stitching around these pieces, and I'm going to stitch these on. Okay, guys, adding stitching to that just brought it to life. So I did a zigzag all the way around here, did some zigzag here, did a zigzag down here and across there. Don't want it everywhere. And then I pulled some threads and stitched that onto there to give it that messy look. Look at the back. You could still write on that. There's plenty of room to write. But yes, so that is the first one. Okay, so I've pulled some other bits, and again I'm going to go around this in some ground espresso, and we're going to use a vintage photo on this one. And I've just realized I probably want this stitched as well, and it probably has to be done before I start adding everything. I'm trying to work out if I want it in black or in brown. Okay, so I did a brown zigzag stitch all the way around my card as well as on my photo. Look at this photo, proper vintage one. It's someone, it looks like her name is Lettuce, but I don't think it is, and Auntie B. But they also look a bit creepy. I don't mean that offensively, but it does kind of give me the vibes. Now I think I want this around here. I'm going to get some of that lovely grunge. I'm just going to start layering up, because that's what I love to do. This is one of my tester pieces where I've, you know, put a new thread in and then seen if it's worked. This one obviously didn't, and then I had to do it again. So we are going to use actually that, and I have decided I'm going to pull it off the card. Not pull it off, but I'm going to have it hanging over the edge of the card. I literally will keep anything, because you just never know. This is obviously mopped up some ink off my table, and then I've used it as a scrap piece to check when I'm changing my bobbins over. Bobbin? Why can't I say that word today? Yeah, I'm going to do that. And that's what I'm doing. Right, I'm going to want that about here, I think, and that. But I think before I do anything else, I have a little stamp I'm going to bring on too. So I'm just looking at my table. I pulled some bits out to play with. I'm going to add a little bit of colour on there. So now let's glue this all down. And do this. And I think I have one more I want to make, so I hope you don't mind. But also, I feel like I know we're making mass pieces for us to be able to pull out when we want to, but I also feel like it's fun to see them decorated, and that's what I enjoy. So hopefully you guys don't mind. I'm really having to press that down because of the stitching. Now I've left this bit, you can see that's not glued. And there is a reason for that. Because I'm thinking of coming on, I've got another little thing here. I wonder if that would go down there actually. That's covering up a lot of that though. I don't think I want that covered. We can always have it up here. Let's have a look. Thursday evening. Yep, I like that there. Right, let's do that. Yeah. I can't remember what I was saying now. So, sorry, I got a bit distracted by the creating piece. So yes, I've left that up because I know I want to layer underneath there a little bit. So we're going to, and then I will glue that down. Again, that's something I often do where I glue pieces down, but then don't glue them all the way because I'm busy trying to work out what I want to add. Yep. Do. Right, now I think I'm okay with how it is. So let me try and get the glue under here, under here, under here, just all on my journal card. Put the lace, because we know we want some of that. Like so. And then, so Tiff sent me some wonderful grungy jelly print pieces, and I die cut this out of it because I definitely want this on here. I've done that. I've die cut a few different ones out because I've saved some of it though because I really do want to save that paper for later prompts, I'm sure. So, Tiff, you had a few qualms about ripping up the vintage pieces I sent you, and I had a few qualms about ripping up this beautiful jelly plate print that you sent me. So, you know, we all deal with the same thing. I like that. Yep. I also do have a flower that I was wondering about bringing on. Kind of love the flower too. Do I like it in black though? We know I'm going to go for the black. If you've been here any length of time. Yeah. I mean, the brown worked, but there we go. Okay, then we're going to go for the black. Now, what's going to be interesting is I may have to stitch this next piece because I was debating putting a moth on here. Oh, not even debating it. It's happening, guys. It is happening. And that's that. That's because that's what I like. That's what I like. Now, do I want thread behind it? I don't think I do. Oh, I love it just like this. Sorry. I get very excited. Get very excited when things are working. Now, normally I'd also put a word on here. Like, that would definitely be something I would do. But I'm trying to save the words. Unfinished. Okay. Unfinished. So there's that one. And I want to just do one more. I'm really enjoying this. So if you guys aren't, that's okay. But it's not okay. I would hope you enjoy it. Oh, I forgot to show you on this one. I actually used like a ticket. What's it called? A raffle ticket on that one. I'm trying to work out. Actually, I might use this one instead. Okay, let's do it. And again, I'm going to ink around it. Also, I'm going to see if that's straight because it's not looking straight to me. I'm going to ink around it and stitch around it. Okay, so inked and stitched around, and I'm going to use this. And again, we're going to scrunch it a little bit. And again, this is a Tracy Fox image. I have these in my stash because I am part of her design team. So they're in my stash. And I want to use them. I have so many digitals from all the years that I want to use up. So I'm thinking this, and then I pulled out some other bits that I want to work with. So again, I've cut one of these out of Tiff's beautiful jelly print paper. So I want to use some of that to add this. I love these pieces. When I'm tea dyeing, something, and it's got edges like this, I will always keep the edges. This is some of my jelly print paper, a little scrap of it, and I think I want to bring this in. Yeah, I think I do. Okay, let's bring some of this in. Oh, let's not do that. Sorry, I did the back. I need to do the top because I don't know where everything's going to go yet. So I'm just trying to figure it out. I need to lift that a little bit. Put it maybe a bit more over there. Let's straighten it, shall we? So we would have that on here. I actually think I want that coming off the edge. Okay, that's good, good, good. Little Tim Holtz piece. Which I think could go about there. Yep, and we have some of the curator labels. Now again, many of you will know these are one of my favourite things in the world to use, are the curator labels. I don't think I want that there now. Let's do this. And I also only have this one left, so I need to re-ink some more. Some of the, again, Tim Holtz die. Really need to ink some more of these up because I don't have many more, which is not acceptable. Need to glue this down. Do I want it on the green or up here? Half and half. There we go. Right, so it's getting there. It's getting there. Okay, now I definitely want this. Do I want the lighter? I think, can you see how it's two-toned? I want the lighter side, I think, on here. Like so. I think so. Have another little leaf. I'm going to do this. Do I want this one, though? I pulled this one out, but I'm not sure if this is the one I wanted. I mean, it'd work, so it's fine. That's going to work perfectly. Okay, then. Oh, this is some of my faux leather paper. I do have a tutorial on how to make this on my channel, if you are interested. It just kind of goes in the background, giving it a little bit of something. Yep, I'm liking it. Unless I want that down there a bit more. Like add a little bit down here. Kind of like it there too. Okay, I'm going to do that. Change my mind. Oh, there's a plant that I like. Let's have a look at that one. I mean, again, you're not seeing all this paper, but that's okay. It's just, it's giving a little bit of texture, which is what I like. Right, I need to glue this side down onto here just so it's glued. Oh no, almost lost my glue. That would be a catastrophe. I mean, it wouldn't really, but it would be. Okay, so I'm liking how this is coming together. Also have a little bit of this doily. Just wondering about it. You can see I'm building up mainly at the bottom here. I'm feeling like that's where we need a lot of, because we've got this stenciling there. So I don't want to over decorate up the top bit. Do I like that there, like that? Feel like I need something there. I'm probably going to bring in some lace. Do you know what? Let's just go for this. Let's try something a bit different this time. Let's glue this down. Perfect. And I think I'm probably going to stitch down there just because I like it. It's that simple. Yeah, I have this little leaf. No, I like this one. This one's going to be it. So this one is going to go, I think, underneath here, but then pop out the top of it. Right, it's going to go a bit like this. That was going to be over the edge. It's not as over the edge now. That's okay. And let's bring on some curator labels, shall we? Oh yeah, I like that. Do you know what? Let's start gluing. That's already kind of glued. Let's start gluing it all down. Okay, so while I was gluing that down, you may have noticed I added a couple of other bits. I added that there, which you saw. Then I added a small one. Then I did feel like it needed something and some fabric. So I brought that in. I've done double stitching down the side, which is something I love to do, like random double lines and things. Did a little bit of stitching, so it is on the back. Again, that really doesn't bother me. I like that. You guys might not. So let's have a look then, guys. I mean, I could go on decorating these for ages, but that is not the purpose, is it, right now of this video? So we have 4 more left, which I just love how they look. And then we've managed to decorate some. Now, have we covered up a lot of the background? Yes. That doesn't bother me. It might do for you. I can still see stenciling. I can still see letters and things like that. This is small letters. I mean, if we really want to push the prompt, I can still see some of the music paper and stuff, and some of the label even, and some of the oh, what's it called, like tracing paper stuff in the background. Love this one. So cute. Very, very cute. Love it, love it, love it. Lastly, the Gothic one I really love. That needs a word in there. This definitely needs a word somewhere. I always feel like, I've said it before, I will say it again, so excuse me repeating myself, but I always feel like a project is just unfinished until it has a word added. And I think that's why I had to go with this, because it was just getting to that point where I was like, no, I need a word. But I think they look great, guys. And again, digitals, vintage photos, papers, die cuts, whatever you have to work with, they work. But that's it for now. I really do hope you enjoyed this one and it gave you some inspiration. Please do like, comment, subscribe and share if you haven't already. I deeply, deeply appreciate it. I appreciate every single one of you. And I'll be back soon with another video. But until then, we get a few days off from December, so I will be prepping those videos. And wherever you are in the world, guys, I hope you're having lots and lots of creative, crafty fun. Bye for now.